It's time for the Luke Howard Show. And guess what? Well, it is, it's live. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, round of applause. Wow, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful round of applause, as always. Morning. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of May. Gosh, we're already 2 days into May. Hope May is going well for you already, especially at this time. Okay, so lots to get through today, but first, I hope everyone's had another great week, of course, because, of course, it's Saturday today. So today would usually be our usual show. So, yes, that's what it would be today. So we're doing the 5 shows during the week, and then we're also doing a Saturday show as well, would you believe? So, yes, 6 days a week is a lot, but we're still doing it. So it's absolutely great. And it's great to have you, of course, listening, of course, dear listener. And if you want to get in touch on Britain's Best Radio Show, all you got to do is text the word TALK and your name to 07593 847 105, or you can email Gary J. Howard 68 at hotmail.com, or you can use another email, which is 345457 at student.hrc.ac.uk, or you can find us on social media. It's at the Luke Howard fan page on Instagram, and hashtag Luke Howard Show, and of course a new hashtag, which is hashtag listen to the Luke Howard Show live. Well, I think it's actually hashtag listen. I think it's hashtag stay at home and listen to the Luke Howard Show. It's something like that, but as long as everyone's all right and sitting, relaxing and staying at home and listening to Britain's Best Radio Show. Okay, so I want to start off with something about there's a real sense of coming together, which is true because everyone has been coming together at this moment, because Britain's army of more than 3 million volunteers have been helping in the fight against the coronavirus. And let me just say something. Next week, Boris Johnson is going to announce what is actually going to happen. And I only found this out yesterday, that he's going to say what's going to happen when he's going to organise it all, and he'll let everybody know next week about what is going to happen. So speaking the other day to the Sunday Express, Mr. John Rich, he talked about now how a collective national effort for seen since the Second World War has helped and shield the most vulnerable people in the UK. Now, each day, about 500,000 people, would you believe? Blimey, 500,000 people and 500,000 food parcels are being delivered to the elderly and people with underlying health conditions. Now, we haven't, my nan and granddad, they don't need anyone to deliver their food because they've got us to deliver their food, so they're very lucky. And of course, my other nan, who lives in Hoddesdon, so all of our old people in our family have got us to look after them. So, yeah, and there's a lot of local towns as well have been doing lots of food banks and delivering. So, at the bottom of my heart, and everyone here at the one and the only show, the Luke Howard Show, we all want to thank everyone out there who has been trying their best to help those in need. So, well done. There you go. Let's do a round of applause. There you go. Yeah, a round of applause. I must say what they also said as well, and he said that local councils are at the heart of the response, and they have probably, never played a more important role in the life of the country, would you believe, in my lifetime and where they are today. He said we are going to continue to working with them over the weeks and months until we learn more about the impact on their finances. We can take decisions later in the year if necessary. He said the government estimates that the volunteer force, including more than 750,000 people signed up to the official NHS scheme, and is bigger than 3.1 million population of Wales. He said, I think in all of our own communities, whether that is small villages, which you would expect to have a strong real sense of coming together and supporting each other. He added that Mr. Jenrick said that one of the great success of the government's response is to the coronavirus and has been the food parcels, with this department organised just days until the lockdown, and the NHS has identified 1.8 million people who need to stay at home and self-isolate, of course, for the duration of the crisis. More than, a lot of people have had the first thought. So we began thinking this number would be 1.5 million people, and he said that it has now increased as GPs who have helped us identify more people who have the conditions which were set out by the Chief Medical Officer. He said that the Express readers and others who think they should be receiving extra support via the shielding programme and should get in touch with their GPs, which is true. So get in touch with your GPs if you need to, only if you really need to. So one of the more rewarding parts of this job had been receiving emails from pictures of from children thanking them for the parcels. Mr. Jenrick said, I have loved reading these emails and I get from people and who receive the boxes, and it has been a big effort by a lot of people across the country, but it has been absolutely the right thing to do. There are people who are physically alone in this country, but the message I have always had is that you might be physical alone, but you shouldn't feel that you are on your own. Mr. Jenrick said that despite the challenges of being at the top, of the experience of taking a leading part in the national effort has been, a rewarding one. It's a time in which you're pleased to have an opportunity to do things which are so directly impact lives, he said. You go on to politics to do that, and then obviously it is a stressful thing to do, of course, and it really is to be a minister at a time like this, but equally you are grateful to be able to make a contribution. He is worried that some of the criticism he received from taking meditation to his parents, they may put off people supporting family and friends. He said that the lockdown has been very challenging, of course, for everyone, and we all face decisions about what we like and what we look after our elderly patients, friends and family, of course, and the ones in need and the vulnerable, of course. And the truth is that I had been working very hard for several weeks and felt that I hadn't done enough to look after my parents, and so when the opportunity arose on a Saturday morning to take over today, funny enough, well, not today, one of the Saturdays, I'm just saying that today's Saturday, of course, but one of them Saturdays, of course, was when it happened, and they were asking me to collect for her. I look at, and I wouldn't want other people to feel anxious about doing the same. We all need to look after our own family as far as we can, and as long as we, abide by the social distancing guidelines. But the first line of difference is, has to be family, of course, and meanwhile, he has also been applauded by members of the lockdown easier by insisting the majority of parks, cemeteries and graveyards that can remain open. He said as local government secretary trying to find a small messes at this difficult time, and it makes a difference in people's lives as really important. Now, the importance of parks during this crisis has also changed to the way he and the government think of that long-term planning. Now, I want to talk about police because I saw in the news yesterday morning before the show, before I went on air. I was watching the news yesterday morning, and there were police patrolling all streets and all parks, making sure that everyone was, doing the right thing. But a lot of people weren't doing the right thing. There were people in the streets, gangs in the streets playing out, and they were saying, why are you out today? You should be out at all. Which is true. Police should do that. And they can't just pick on one person. They have to pick on everybody. Like I said a few weeks ago on the show, they have to pick on everybody. They can't just pick on one person. But only go out if you need to, people. Don't just go out and meet your friends. You're not off just to... schools aren't off because of, just for the fun, they're off for a big reason. So kids and teenagers, do not go out unless you really, really need to. And I'm being true here. Please do not go out unless you need to. I have a lot of people who I speak to, and they say, do not go out unless you need to. So it's really important that people live within close proximity of really high-quality parks and open spaces, and we need to design communities better, and also more diverse communities in the same young people that can live close, older people, unlike some of the, estates that get built today, where they are all family houses and homes on one estate. He also said that paid council workers need to be treated with greatest respect in the future. The people who are cleaning the streets and helping to keep our local councils going are jobs which are underappreciated, but those people have, kept working and kept the country going. And we will leave that one there, because I don't really want to talk about any more about that. But Captain Tom had a great birthday, didn't he? The fly past and everything. We did see the fly past yesterday, because we live in Hertfordshire, which is literally the next county from Bedfordshire. So we did see it yesterday. Now, Formula 1, Lando Norris is the envy of youngsters worldwide, but admits that he was left in wear of Colonel Tom now, As Britain's rising motor racing star, Norris, aged 20, travels the world, competing against the best drivers on the planet. But the McLaren project Protege was happy to take a back seat this week after meeting Second World War veteran Colonel Tom Moore. He has raised more than £28 million for the NHS, and I think he's now got it up to 30. Come on, people, let's get him up to 30, then he can have a rest. He's 100 for God's sake. He's 100, 101. He'll be next year, but he's 100 now. Get him up to 30, and then he can have a rest. So he needs to rest, that's what he does. So Norris himself is contributing to the cause by taking part in an NHS charity cup. Now, an online celebrity FIFA tournament which aims to raise at least 10 million quid. He jumped at the chance to speak to the Captain Tom via a video call at McLaurin's HQ. That was cool a few years ago. Now, he would never have had an opportunity to speak to people like that. He said that he's raised over 28 million quid and it just keeps going on, up. So, it's stupidly insane though, isn't it? It's not great. I mean, it's insane. That's what I mean. It's insane. And it's so cool to see someone to do something like this for so many people. It's amazing. He's an incredible bloke. Absolutely amazing. And the fact he got is to speak to him. And he's a McLaurin fan. And it made it even cooler. We are going to try and get him down to McLaurin HQ for a little tour once things are back to normal, of course. And it shows that if he can do 100 laps of his garden, then at 99 years old, almost 100, which just makes it even better. And it's not just inspired, but inspired so many people around the UK and the world. Would you believe? So Norris is leading to a new generation of supporting stars doing their bit for charity via social media. He boasts a whopping 1.4 million Instagram followers and uses his platform to raise money for good causes. He said that I don't have power, but I've got a better opportunity than a lot of other people. I'm lucky because of that, and in the situation I am. And he's trying to make the most of that and do, well, what he can, he said. And Norris should be preparing for next week's Dutch Grand Prix. But it's not in England, it's in Limbo after the season was cut short by the pandemic. So among the potential plans to salvage the campaign is to host two behind closed doors races at Silverstone, the home of the British Grand Prix. So Norris also added that Silverstone is one of the favourite tracks, and not just because it's my home race, it is behind closed doors, and it will, well, be doing anyone in the grandstands in any noise. So you can text, if you want to donate £5, you can text Unit 5 to 70456. If you want to do £10, you can text Unit 10 to 70456. Now texts cost £5 or £10. One standard network rate charge. 97.75% to the NHS Charities Together campaign for the COVID-19 urgent appeal. You can text out to 70456 to out of COVID-19, and of course further contact is NHS Charities Together is Inspired Charity in England, number 1186569. Questions to 08454 635 328. That's 08454 635 328, and we will leave that story there. Okay, so we are now going to talk about clean up in hand washing your hands and stuff. So, digital health provider Medical Awful has launched a competition to promote hand hygiene at home, challenging primary school pupils across Hertfordshire to showcase hand washing by putting, well, their creative skills to the test. Now, Medicus extended its hand washing competition to all pupils aged 5 to 11 from primary schools throughout the county, including Stansted, including Abbott's Langley School, Ashwell Primary School, and Jeannie's First School. The home challenge comes as primary schools are closed to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 for all but children of critical workers. Now, Hertfordshire children are encouraged to complete the challenge while at home by, well, making a poster, filming the video, recording a song, doing a science experiment, or writing a poem, to name a few in the entry. Now, pupils in the country, in this county, are challenged to get creative and include some key points about proper hand washing, including washing hands for at least 20 seconds and frequently throughout the day. So the winning entry will win £500, oh, lucky them, for their primary school to spend on supplies, and 10 runners up will be selected to win £100 to their primary school. The money can then go towards school supplies, including books, software and art supplies. Now, organiser Microsoft, it's digital health company working to protect NHS workers from the exclusive to COVID-19 with a contact-free explanation. Now, Dr. Johnson D. Sarvely, medical director at